You can change your life at any time you choose. The power is always in your hands. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. So how do you do it? When I met Mr. Schoaf all those years ago, he told me there was about a half dozen things that make all the difference. I've added a few of my own, and I want to talk about these ideas today. The 10 keys to dramatically change your life. One of the first keys to dramatically improving your life is taking full responsibility for where you are right now. You got to step into full ownership of your life. Everything in your life, the good, the bad, the frustrating, and the rewarding, you've had a hand in it. It's a tough thing to accept sometimes, but it's essential. Full responsibility means you don't blame others or external circumstances for your situation. Once you do that, you take back your power. When we blame others or situations for where we are, we give away our control. It's easy to point the finger and say, it's not my fault. But when you take responsibility, you suddenly realize that you have the ability to change things. If you don't like where you are, you can change your direction. It's a shift in mindset from being reactive to proactive. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I do to change it? This concept applies to every area of your life. If your finances aren't where you want them to be, instead of blaming the economy or your job, take a step back and ask, what can I do to improve my situation? Maybe it's time to learn new skills, pick up a side hustle, or be more disciplined in how you manage your money. The moment you take responsibility, the moment you start looking for solutions, is the moment you begin to change your life. The same goes for relationships. If a relationship isn't working, it's easy to blame the other person, right? But what if you took responsibility for your part? What if you asked yourself, what can I do to improve this relationship? Maybe it's about being a better listener, showing more appreciation, or working on your communication. When you take responsibility for your actions, you empower yourself to improve the situation. So, start with this principle. Take full responsibility for where you are. Own your choices, your habits, and your actions. That's the first step to making any real lasting change in your life. Next, the second key to dramatically improving your life is setting clear goals. Without a vision, we drift. Clear, well-defined goals are like a roadmap for your life. They guide your actions and decisions, keeping you focused on what truly matters. It's amazing how many people go through life without any real goals. They hope things will work out, but hope is not a strategy. You have to be intentional. A goal is like a target. You can't hit a target if you don't know what it looks like. The more specific your goals, the easier it is to achieve them. If you say, I want to make more money, that's vague. How much more money? By when? What will you do to earn it? You see, fuzzy goals produce fuzzy results. But when you're specific, you give your brain something to aim for. You can create a plan, break it down into smaller steps, and track your progress. Writing down your goals is essential. When you commit them to paper, they become more real. Don't just think about what you want. Put it in writing. It's a form of self-accountability. Review your goals regularly. Keep them in front of you because what you focus on, you move toward. You're more likely to make choices that align with your goals if you're consistently reminding yourself of them. Early in my career, I didn't have any clear goals. I was working hard, but I didn't know what I was working toward. Then one day, Mr. Schoaf asked me about my goals. When I fumbled through a fuzzy answer, he said, Jim, you need to be specific. If you don't know what you want, how will you ever get it? And that conversation changed my life. I sat down that night and wrote down exactly what I wanted. And once I had those goals, everything changed. Everything I did was done with focus. My actions became more focused, my decisions more purposeful, and my life started moving in the direction I wanted it to go. Goals give you direction. They give your life meaning and purpose. So take the time to get clear about what you want. Write it down. And don't be afraid to dream big. The only limits on your goals are the ones you place on yourself. Once you have a clear vision of what you want, you'll be amazed at how quickly your life starts to change. Next, the third key to dramatically improving your life is discipline. Goals are important, but without discipline, they remain dreams. Discipline is what turns goals into reality. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's sticking to the plan, following through, and staying consistent. And discipline isn't easy. It's much easier to do what's comfortable, to take the path of least resistance. But comfort doesn't lead to growth. It doesn't lead to change. If you want to improve your life, you have to be willing to step outside your comfort zone. You have to be willing to do what's hard. And that requires discipline. Think about the areas of your life where discipline is needed. Maybe it's in your finances. Are you disciplined in how you manage your money? Do you stick to a budget? Do you save consistently? Or do you spend impulsively? Discipline in your finances can dramatically change your life. It can lead to financial security and freedom. But here's an important point. Discipline is not about perfection. You're going to slip up. You're going to have days when you don't follow through. That's okay. What matters is that you get back on track. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week or a bad month. Successful people aren't perfect. They're just consistent. They keep showing up even when it's hard. They keep doing the work even when they don't feel like it. And over time, that discipline pays off. Tell me, what's one area of your life where you could be more disciplined? Identify it and make a commitment to improve. Start small if you need to. Maybe it's as simple as waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your goals. Maybe it's cutting out one unhealthy habit. Whatever it is, start today. Build your discipline one step at a time and watch how it transforms your life. Next, the fourth key to improving your life is developing a growth mindset. This means being committed to constant learning and self-improvement. The world is changing all the time. New technologies, new opportunities, new challenges. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. Leaders are readers, and successful people are always growing. They're curious. They're always looking for ways to improve themselves, their skills, and their lives. Invest in yourself. Read books, attend seminars, listen to audio programs. The more you learn, the more you can apply to your life. And here's something important to remember. Personal development is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. You don't read one book or attend one seminar and call it done. You have to keep feeding your mind, keep challenging yourself to grow. Most people say, I don't have time to read, or I don't have time for personal development. But here's the truth. You make time for what's important to you. If you want to improve your life, you have to make personal growth a priority. You don't have to spend hours every day. Even 15 minutes a day can make a difference. If you're consistent, those small efforts compound over time. Think of personal development as an investment. Every book you read, every seminar you attend, every conversation with a mentor, it's an investment in your future. And the return on that investment is immeasurable. So commit to becoming a lifelong learner. Make personal growth a part of your daily routine. And remember, the more you learn, the more you earn. Not just in money, but in wisdom, relationships, and opportunities. That's the essence of growth. You're constantly expanding, constantly becoming more of the person you're capable of being. And that's where real success comes from, not just achieving goals, but growing into the kind of person who achieves those goals. One of the most important aspects of personal development is surrounding yourself with the right people. The fifth key to dramatically improving your life is associating with people who lift you up, challenge you, and inspire you to be better. You've probably heard it said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now think about that for a moment. Who are you spending your time with? Are they pushing you toward your goals or holding you back? Are they encouraging you to grow, or are they pulling you into old habits that don't serve your future? The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your success. If you want to raise your game, you have to raise your standards for who you allow into your inner circle. Now, I'm not saying you should cut everyone out of your life. There are some relationships that may be deeply personal or connected to family, but it's important to evaluate the influence those people have on you. If someone is consistently negative or toxic, it might be time to set some boundaries. What you want to do is seek out people who inspire you, people who are ahead of you in the areas where you want to grow. Success leaves clues, and by spending time with those who are where you want to be, you can learn from their experiences. If you want to be successful, spend time with successful people. If you want to improve your health, spend time with people who are health conscious. Their habits, their thinking, and their behaviors will begin to rub off on you. That's the power of association. Look, you can't outgrow your environment. If you're surrounded by people who are content with mediocrity, it's going to be hard for you to strive for excellence. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are ambitious, who have big dreams, and who are working hard to achieve them, it's going to pull you up. Their energy, their drive will inspire you to push yourself further. This principle isn't just about surrounding yourself with people who are successful. It's also about surrounding yourself with people who are positive. Negativity is contagious. If you're constantly around people who are complaining, who are bitter, who see the world through a lens of scarcity, it's going to affect your mindset. On the flip side, being around positive, optimistic people can shift your entire outlook. They help you see possibilities where others see obstacles. I remember early in my career, I made a decision to change who I spent my time with. I realized that some of the people in my life weren't going in the direction I wanted to go. So I started seeking out mentors and successful individuals who could challenge me, teach me, and inspire me. That decision changed everything for me. The conversations were different. The energy was different. And most importantly, I was growing in ways I hadn't before. If you want to change your life, you've got to change who you're spending your time with. Next, another key to improving your life is managing your time effectively. This is number 6, and it's a big one. Time is the most precious resource we have, and how you use it will determine the quality of your life. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, but how you use those hours makes all the difference. Some people seem to accomplish so much, while others struggle to get anything done. What's the difference? It comes down to time management. The first thing to understand about time management is that it's really about self-management. Time is constant. It's ticking away whether you use it wisely or not. What you have to manage is yourself, your focus, your priorities, and your actions. Successful people aren't necessarily working harder than everyone else. They're working smarter. They've mastered the art of prioritizing what's most important and eliminating distractions. A powerful tool for managing your time is the 80-20 rule. It says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. In other words, that not all tasks are created equal. Some activities have a much higher return on investment than others. The key to effective time management is identifying the 20% of activities that will produce the greatest results and focusing on those. For example, in business, maybe 20% of your clients generate 80% of your revenue. In your personal life, 20% of your habits may contribute to 80% of your well-being. The idea is to focus on the high-impact activities and let go of the rest. Another aspect of time management is learning to say no. Protect your time and focus on what really matters. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. You only have so many hours in a day, and if you fill them with low-priority tasks or obligations, you're taking away from the time you could be spending on your goals, your health, or your relationships. So, don't be afraid to say no to things that don't align with your priorities. And here's a strategy I found helpful, and that's to plan your day the night before. Take 10 to 15 minutes each evening to look at your schedule for the next day and decide what your top priorities are. Write them down. When you wake up the next morning, you'll already have a clear plan for the day, and you'll be less likely to get distracted or waste time. It's It's amazing how much more productive you can be when you start your day with a clear sense of direction. Now, here's an important point. Rest is just as important as work. Effective time management isn't about working nonstop. It's about working smart, but also knowing when to rest and recharge. You need balance. If you're always pushing yourself without taking time to relax and rejuvenate, you'll burn out. So, schedule time for rest, for hobbies, for the things that bring you joy. That way, when you're working, you can give it your full energy and focus. Next, the seventh key to improving your life is mastering your emotions. This is a big one because your emotions can either drive you forward or hold you back. And I'm not talking about suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything's fine when it's not. What I'm talking about is learning to manage your emotions in a way that serves you rather than sabotages you. Emotions are powerful, and they have a huge impact on the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the results you get. Think about it. How many times have you made a decision out of anger or frustration only to regret it later? How many times have you been overwhelmed by fear or doubt, and it stopped you from taking action on something you really wanted? Learning to manage your emotions is crucial to improving your life because your emotions are the driving force behind your behavior. It's important to understand that emotions are signals. They're there to tell you something. When you feel angry, it's often a sign that something's not right. Maybe someone crossed a boundary or treated you unfairly. When you feel fear, it's your mind's way of warning you of potential danger. Emotions aren't the enemy, they're information. But the key is to respond to that information in a way that's constructive rather than reactive. You can choose your response. Next, the eighth key to dramatically improving your life is taking care of your body. This might sound simple, but it's foundational. Without a healthy body, everything else in your life suffers. Your energy, your productivity, even your mindset. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if your body isn't able to keep up, you're going to be held back. Now, I'm not talking about becoming a bodybuilder or running marathons, unless that's your thing. I'm talking about maintaining the level of health and energy that allows you to live your life to the fullest, to pursue your goals with vitality, and to enjoy the journey. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. If you don't maintain it, it's going to break down. And when that happens, you don't get very far. Think of it like this. If you owned a high-performance car, you wouldn't neglect the maintenance, would you? You take care of it, fuel it properly, and make sure it's in good condition. Well, your body deserves the same attention because it's your high-performance vehicle for life. What you put into your body has a direct impact on how you feel, how you think, and how you perform. You can't expect to operate at your best if you're constantly feeding your body junk. When you take care of your body, everything else in your life improves. You have more energy, more focus, and more resilience. You're better equipped to handle challenges, and you're able to pursue your goals with greater enthusiasm and determination. So make your health a priority. You only get one body, and it's the only one that's going to carry you through this life. Take care of it, and it will take care of you. Next, the ninth key to dramatically improving your life is taking control of your finances. Money isn't everything, but it's a tool that can either empower you or enslave you, depending on how you manage it. Financial freedom is about having control over your money rather than your money controlling you. It's about living within your means, making smart financial decisions, and building a future where you don't have to constantly worry about your finances. The first step to taking control of your finances is getting clear on where you are. Do you know exactly how much money is coming in and going out each month? Do you know where your money is going? Many people don't. They have a general idea, but they're not tracking their finances closely. If you don't have a clear picture of your financial situation, it's easy to fall into the trap of overspending or accumulating debt without realizing it. So, start by creating a budget. A budget is simply a plan for how you're going to use your money each month. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it should be clear. How much are you spending on housing, food, transportation, and other necessities? How much are you saving? How much are you investing? When you have a budget, you're in control of your money, and you can make intentional decisions about how you use it. The next step is to live below your means. This is one of the most important financial principles you can follow. It's tempting to want to keep up with others, to buy things you can't afford, or to live a lifestyle that stretches you financially. But financial freedom comes from spending less than you earn. When you live below your means, you create a surplus that you can use to save, invest, and build wealth over time. And if you don't live below your means, here is what happens. You either go broke or, even worse, get yourself in debt. Debt can be a major obstacle to financial freedom, especially if it's high-interest consumer debt like credit cards. If you have debt, make a plan to pay it off as quickly as possible. The interest on debt can compound and become a financial burden that limits your ability to save and invest for the future. The good news is, with discipline and a plan, you can get out of debt and take control of your financial future. Another key to financial success is saving and investing. It's important to save for both short-term needs, like an emergency fund, and long-term goals like retirement. The earlier you start saving and investing, the more your money can grow over time through the power of compound interest. Even small amounts saved and invested consistently can add up to significant wealth over the long term. So make saving and investing a priority and pay yourself first. Treat it as a non-negotiable part of your budget. Mr. Shove said, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. You can earn a great income, but if you're spending it all, you won't build wealth. It's about being smart with the money you have, living below your means, saving, investing, and making your money work for you. That's how you create financial security and freedom. If you make $4,000 a month, but you're spending $5,000, you're not going to be looking too good. But here's the thing. You also have to give. Giving is a powerful financial principle that often gets overlooked. When you give, whether it's to charity, your community, or someone in need, you create a sense of abundance in your life. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to generosity. And here's the remarkable thing. What you give often comes back to you in unexpected ways. It's not just about money. It's about the energy you put out into the world. When you give freely, you open yourself up to receive more. So, make giving a part of your financial plan. It's not just about the money. It's about the person you become when you live with a generous heart. Next, the 10th and final key to dramatically improving your life is embracing change. Change is a constant in life. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. The question is, are you going to resist it or are you going to embrace it? Those who resist change often find themselves stuck, frustrated, and struggling to keep up. But those who embrace change, who adapt and evolve, are the ones who thrive. Now, change can be scary. It can be uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Growth only happens outside your comfort zone. If you want to improve your life, you have to be willing to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to try new things. You have to be willing to let go of old habits, old ways of thinking, and sometimes old relationships that no longer serve you. One of the biggest changes you can embrace is the change within yourself. Personal growth is all about becoming the best version of yourself, and that requires constant change. It requires you to challenge your limiting beliefs, to push past your fears, and to continuously strive for improvement. The moment you stop growing is the moment you start declining. So commit to lifelong growth and never settle for less than you're capable of. Think about the areas of your life where you might be resisting change. Maybe it's in your career. Are you holding on to a job that no longer fulfills you? Maybe it's in your relationships. Are you avoiding difficult conversations or changes that need to happen? Or maybe it's in your habits. Are you sticking to routines that aren't helping you grow? Whatever it is, take a close look at where you might be holding yourself back and be willing to embrace the changes that will move you forward. Change is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally in personal growth and success. When you embrace change, you open yourself up to new opportunities and possibilities that you never would have seen if you stayed stuck in the same place. Change brings with it the chance to learn, to grow, and to reinvent yourself. Every time you face a change, whether it's in your personal life, your career, or your mindset, you have the chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Now, one of the reasons people resist change is because it brings uncertainty. The unknown can be intimidating. But here's the thing. Nothing great ever happens in the comfort zone. Everything you want in life, success, fulfillment, growth, new experiences, it all lies on the other side of change. So instead of fearing change, learn to embrace it. Learn to see it as an adventure, as a new chapter in your story. The more you practice embracing change, the more adaptable you become, and the easier it is to handle whatever life throws your way. I used to work with a man who had a stable job that he had been at for over 20 years. He was comfortable, but he wasn't fulfilled. He had dreams of starting his own business, but he was afraid to make the leap because it meant leaving behind the security of his job. After years of hesitation, he finally decided to embrace the change. He took the leap, started his business, and within a few years, he was more successful and more fulfilled than he ever could have imagined in his old job. The change was scary, but it was exactly what he needed to grow and achieve his dreams. The point is, change is inevitable. The question is, are you going to let it control you, or are you going to control how you respond to it? Are you going to let it push you around, or are you going to use it to your advantage? When you embrace change, you take control of your destiny. You stop letting life happen to you, and you start making life happen for you. A practical way to start embracing change is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Put yourself in situations that challenge you. Take risks. Try new things. Stretch beyond your current limits. The more you do this, the more you build your confidence and resilience. You start to realize that you can handle whatever comes your way, and that change isn't something to fear. It's something to welcome. Another key to embracing change is maintaining a positive attitude. Change can be challenging, but it's all about how you look at it. Instead of seeing change as a loss or a disruption, see it as an opportunity. Every change, no matter how difficult, brings with it a lesson. It's a chance to grow, to learn, and to become better. When you shift your mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance, change becomes a tool for progress rather than a source of stress. Here's what I want you to try. Think back to a time in your life when you experienced a major change. Maybe it was a career change, a relationship change, or even a move to a new city. How did that change shape who you are today? What lessons did you learn from it? How did it help you grow? You'll likely find that even the toughest changes in your life ended up leading to something positive, even if it didn't seem that way at the time. Remember, change is the gateway to growth. The more you embrace it, the more you'll grow, and the more opportunities you'll create for yourself. Don't resist it. Lean into it. Let it shape you. Let it challenge you. And let it transform you into the person you're capable of becoming. Now, here's what I want you to remember. All of these keys are interconnected. You can't have one without the other. They all work together to create a life of success, fulfillment, and growth. You can't set goals without discipline. You can't manage your time without controlling your emotions. You can't embrace change without continuous learning and personal growth. It's all part of the same process of becoming the best version of yourself. So, as you move forward from here, ask yourself this: which of these areas do I need to focus on most right now? Maybe you need to work on setting clearer goals. Maybe it's discipline that's holding you back. Or perhaps you need to surround yourself with more positive, inspiring people. Whatever it is, start there. focus on one area and begin making small, consistent changes. Over time, those small changes will compound and you'll start to see dramatic improvements in your life. You have the power to create the life you want. No matter where you are right now, no matter what your circumstances, you have the ability to change, to grow, and to achieve your dreams. It all starts with the decisions you make each day. So, make the decision today to start applying these keys to your life. Take full responsibility, set your goals, practice discipline, and never stop growing. Because at the end of the day, the only limits on your life are the ones you place on yourself. So, dream big, work hard, and never settle for less than you're capable of becoming.